let's look ahead to Monday. There are 12 games on in the NBA. Can we stream? Can we not? Well, we'll find out. Some guys that are available. Let's look at what's on my radar. An injury update and all of that. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I'm not the little boy that I used to be. I'm all grown up now, baby. Can't you see? I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We are available on all platforms. Do a double bang. Video, audio, listen to both, watch both, however you want to do it, right? And then hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell. I'm sure you've already done it, so thank you. Leave the comments down below as well, and get ready. Trade deadline show Thursday, February the 8th, 1 p.m. Eastern. Get in and laugh and talk and chat with thousands and thousands of people. We'll be in here and we can just discuss all the stuff as it goes down. I think it's going to be pretty fun. Let's talk about Monday, January the 29th. The 12-game day in the NBA. Of course, injuries and all that stuff will be subject to change right up until apparently games tip off, because the NBA doesn't give a shit about their injury reporting. Gordon Hayward is going to be out unless, again, something stupid happens. Darius Garland we're expecting to be out, even though his 4-week timeline was up 2 weeks ago, and we haven't heard a reevaluation, and they said he wasn't going to be with the team on the road trip, and now they're back at home, but we haven't heard, so I'm guessing he's out. Bol should be out for Phoenix. Day'Ron Sharpe is going to be out for Brooklyn. Tari next season will be out for Houston. Gary Harris is out Sunday. I don't think he's going to be playing Monday. I'm listing him out there. No confirmation. The wave pool, DeAnthony Melton will be out for Philly. Shaedon Sharpe will be out for Portland. I had Porzingis listed doubtful, and they've officially listed him questionable. Now, I'll tell you why I had him doubtful. Obviously, he missed the last game with the ankle sprain, and they've got a back-to-back, a Monday-Tuesday back-to-back here, the Celtics, and he's going to sit one of those 2 games. It would make a lot more sense, in my mind, that he sits on Monday, the extra day of rest on the ankle, and then he plays on Tuesday, if he is going to play at all. It would make 0 sense for him to play Monday and then sit Tuesday. So, my assumption is, again, they do this and they obfuscate, and then we have to change our projections, all that sort of stuff at Basketball Monster. But my expectation is Porzingis will be out on Monday, and then Horford will be out on Tuesday. But of course, both guys are listed questionable for Monday, and then Luke Cornett has actually popped up as doubtful. So, good luck. My expectation, Porzingis out, Horford in Monday, flip him Tuesday, and then we'll see. Markelle Fultz and John Isaac, it is the second game of a back-to-back. I expect that they won't play on Monday. Bradley Beal is still at this point a game-time decision for Sunday, so I'm going to list him questionable for Monday with the nasal fracture. We got an update in the middle of me creating these graphics that Dorian Finney-Smith was out for the Nets. Yusuf Nurkic is going to miss Sunday with his thumb issue for the Suns. Maybe he plays Monday, I don't know, but Drew Eubanks is the option there. Luke Cornett, again, was questionable. He is now doubtful. Zach Collins is questionable for the Spurs. If he is out, it's the Trojan Domi Barlow, who you can use in deeper leagues. Mike Conley. I tweeted this out yesterday. Mike Conley had the random rest at the start of the week. Then he allegedly had an illness on a back-to-back. And then he missed the next... Well, then he played one of those games of the back-to-back. And then he missed with hamstring soreness. That is terrible, right? That's not great for Conley. 1 game out of 4 for the week. And, yeah, they're the 3 games that he missed. They beat the Wizards. Like, cool. You're the best team in the West. Well, you were. And you should have beat the Wizards. The 2 games they lost were against the Spurs and the Hornets. That is one of the biggest yikes going out there. They need point guard help. Because if Mike Conley is the guy keeping everything under control, given his injury history and age, you need some backup there. You need to bring Tyus Jones home. You need to get Kyle Lowry there. You need to do something. Anyway, so I don't know if Conley's going to play. Kyrie is dealing with his thumb issue that was going to cost him 0 games. He's already missed 2. We don't know if he's going to play. Sasha Vezenkov is questionable for the Kings. He's probably not a rotation guy anyway. Dante Exum, Derek Jones, and Dwight Powell all questionable. There's just a ton of these situations where there's so many guys on the injury report. So I don't know what happens with Exum, with Jones. What we do know is that Hardaway and Green are in a pretty good spot because there could be 3 wing players out or guards out. Embiid, of course, without any controversy at all, missed the game on Saturday against Jokic. And the Nuggets, after hurting his knee on Thursday against the Pacers, they've got a Monday, Tuesday back-to-back. The Monday game is against Portland. I would not be shocked if Embiid sits that one. I don't think he plays in both of them. I think he could sit, so Paul Reed is in the mix for us there. Tyrese Maxey's missed a couple games with an illness. Not a couple. He missed the 1 game on Saturday with an illness, so he's questionable at the moment. It's the Thick Hogsman who's missed a couple of games, Toby Harris. We'll see whether he returns. And then the Blazers, they play on Sunday, and Brogdon, Grant, Henderson, Simons, and Walker are all questionable. Okay, how do I plan any of that shit? So I don't know. Look, I'm going to guess Brogdon doesn't play, and Grant doesn't play, and Scoot doesn't play. But Simons and Walker, I think, play Sunday, but whether they play Monday, I don't know. So there is just gigantic unknowns there with Portland. So keep tabs on that. But we're not even going to know about what happens for them on Monday until very late in the day on Monday as well. So that is one of those just really frustrating scenarios. But in a positive note, well, actually, let me say this. I listed LaMelo Ball as probable because he sat the last game due to a back-to-back with ankle soreness. But we all know the Charlotte injury reporting is horrendous, and I've found a way to decode it. Whatever makes the least sense is what they'll list, and then we'll be able to figure out the good stuff from there. LaMelo Ball, last time it was a back-to-back. They sat him out the second game for ankle soreness, and then the next game coming back, they listed him questionable, even though there was 0 doubt he was going to play, right? That is what happened, and he played, and it was fine. This time, back-to-back, he sat the second game, so I listed him probable, because I said, okay, he sat the back-to-back. And now, for Monday's game, they've listed him questionable with ankle soreness. Again, he is going to play. I feel very confident about saying this, but this organization is the team that, they're so tricky. They just try and keep things a secret so they can be one of the worst franchises in the league. It's working so well for them. Maybe they'd win negative games if they actually gave the information out so other teams could scheme against them. Ooh, so tricky. You dumb dipshits. Anyway, LaMelo Ball, officially questionable. He's probable in our hearts. But who is officially probable is Evan Mobley. The koala is back somehow. I don't know how. Well, I do know how. His original, and people will say this, Josh, why? It's not crazy. His timeline was 6 to 8 weeks. I know. His timeline was 6 to 8 weeks. But he's back like bang on 6 weeks on the dot. And for a knee surgery, 90 to 95% of these you'll push to the back end of that time frame and then even go further. It'll be 6 to 8 weeks. They'll be reevaluated in 8. They come back in 9 on limited minutes. This man's coming back bang on 6. Not even a reevaluation, just back. Which is, it's not what happens. It's not what happens with knee surgeries. Now, he's going to be limited, probably under 25 minutes, I would imagine, for a few games. And let's cross our fingers. It's less likely to be a problem, but let's cross our fingers. It's not a Tyrese Halliburton situation. The more risky scenarios are usually when someone comes back from a soft tissue injury, because that can ping straight away. A knee surgery, it just usually takes longer to get back from and get all your markers in order, right? But it's unlikely that he goes out there and plays and re-injures it, because it's not a soft tissue thing that's going to ping. So we don't think it's going to be a Halliburton situation, which again, complete shit show, unbelievable mismanagement. Cannot believe they did that. But regardless, Mobley looks like he'll be back on limited minutes. Your sell-high window on Jarrett Allen, which we've been preaching for 3 weeks, is over. Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is back. Ben Simmons is back. Now, the question is, I have many people. Why are so many people still believing in Ben Simmons? Do I rush to add him? Now, I will say this. Sure. It doesn't matter. It is the end of your roster. You are probably not sacrificing very much. His value in a points league is probably going to be higher than a category league. But let's also be honest with ourselves. How many minutes do we think Simmons is playing straight away? How much confidence do we have in Simmons lasting more than, say, 3 to 4 weeks with his back issue? Or how long does it take him to even get to 28 minutes, which is what we probably need for him to be must roster? And I would say all of those things suggest to me that adding him won't work out. That is not to preclude that it will work out. And I don't think there's anything wrong with adding a Ben Simmons who might be a top 75 guy in 3 weeks' time if his minutes push up. But I would say there's almost an equal chance that he's not playing in 3 to 4 weeks than he's playing 29 minutes a night. Maybe that's unfair, right? It's great that he's coming back and he's pushed through this stuff and whatever's happened with his back. But my confidence level there is really, really low. By all means, have a crack at it, but I don't think it's going to work. The Duck, Luke Kennard, I am listing probable. I don't know that he's probable because he's missing Sunday's game, but first game, back-to-back knee soreness. The pattern would suggest that he'll be okay for Monday. Jabari Smith Jr., the Rocket, I'm listing him probable, even though the Rockets have dicked us around hard on this. They take him off the injury report, and then game of the day, he's available to play. And they did that 3 times last week. But they did come out and say, and Ime Udoka came out and said, yeah, I think he's going to be fine for Monday. I don't know, but that's where we're listing him. Chris Middleton rested the back-to-back. He is off the injury report, so he's not actually probable. While Cam Johnson missed the last game for the Nets with a personal issue, he's available. And Jalen Suggs isn't on the injury report for Sunday, so I'm going to guess that he's available for Monday as well. But again, you just never know. Today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, patience. That's what brings home the winning trophy. And it's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything that you need to maintain your vehicle or to level it up to peak performance. Superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you are burning rubber and not cash. So get the parts you want or the parts you need at the prices you want, and it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to US customers. Today's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. The Super Bowl is coming up, and happy Super Bowl to those of you who celebrate from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Super Bowl Sunday, we all love to get a position on the couch. The NBA games are over. The NFL is the main show on that day. We get our snacks. We get, what's your favorite Super Bowl snack, actually? I know that you're going to say like buffalo wings or some sort of like 3-layer dip or something. I don't know what I have. What do I have? What do I normally have? Corn chips? Salsa? Yeah, probably that's what we do. Or I do when I'm watching the Super Bowl over here. But you can also do all that, watch the game, and place some super bets at FanDuel. FanDuel has so many ways for you to end the season with a W or 2 or 3. And not only can you bet on who'll win the Super Bowl, 58, of course you can bet on that, but totals, exact amount of points scored, anytime touchdown scorers, all of that is available at FanDuel. New customers join today, you get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. So go to FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. That is FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And don't forget to gamble responsibly. I'm recording this while championship games are still on. I don't even know who's going to be in the Super Bowl, but I'm sure I'll talk about it later on in the recap show. Let's talk about the 5 teams that have a back-to-back Monday to Tuesday. Low volume game Tuesday, 12 on Monday. You might not be able to stream anyone in on Monday. We're well aware of this, given that there are 12 games on, but pay attention. Celtics, Lakers, Knicks, Sixers, Jazz. The big ones there are going to be the Celtics and the Porzingis-Horford situation, and the other one's going to be the Embiid situation for the Sixers on that back-to-back. The Jazz should be pretty clean. Knicks, well, we don't know. We haven't heard a decision on Julius Randle or a diagnosis, but he's not going to play. And the Lakers, I guess you have some sort of a risk there on LeBron. In terms of stream of the day for Monday, understanding that, again, you probably don't have the capacity to stream somebody in. The 10-team stream is Dante DiVincenzo, who is a very much must-add player with Julius Randle's injury. Your 12-team is going to be Luke Kennard, under the assumption that he plays after sitting out Sunday. Your 14-team league guy is John Concha. In fact, it's Lil John Concha. What? Your 16-teamer is Nico Batum. And for Yahoo and ESPN points, I am going to the Duck, Luke Kennard. I feel very confident that he's going to play. I could get really bitten in the arse though, couldn't I? The first game is the Knicks and the Hornets. I want to see what they do with Josh the Hitman Hart. I don't really know what else they can do outside of start him with Anunoby at the 4 unless they start Precious Achiuwa, which would mean the Knicks would probably fall out of the playoffs. So let's see what Hart does. Hart probably does need 36 minutes a night to be a 12-team league guy, and he's going to get him. So we want to see how that looks. For the Hornets, PJ Washington was amazing last game. There was a real thing with PJ where everyone was out and they were still playing him 28 minutes a night, and that made no sense. And now they've just said, all right, big minutes. Except, last game was great. The game before, he only played 28 minutes as well. I don't think Mark Williams is going to come back, to be honest. Too busy getting those chicken twisties for his back. I don't know if he's coming back. I got no idea. But PJ should be getting more minutes. It's just the problem has been that he hasn't been. He could be traded. Players in front of him could be traded. This team is a mess and stuff could change all the time. Let's see how they use him. In terms of streams, yes, Hart and DiVincenzo, the must-roster players. The guy that I look at is Achua because he's got two different ways of getting value, whether that is playing some minutes at power forward or if they limit Isaiah Hartenstein like they did last game due to his Achilles. So that gives him value. Again, it's a really disgusting pill to swallow to get Precious into your team because of the way he can impact your percentages, and just having to watch him play is also pretty embarrassing. In terms of streaming for the Hornets, Cody Martin, that's more for like assists with the steals in there. He's not going to be a well-rounded guy, but while Gordon Hayward is out, he is starting. Clippers and Cavs. Paul George, I want to see what they do with his minutes because he's dealing with a hamstring. There's definitely no problem. He's only had it for a month. Oh, not hamstring, groin. He's had it for a month or so, and now we're keeping him at 30 minutes a night or 25 minutes a night the other day. It's 100% not a problem, though. This is just normal behavior to deal with that. Like, it's not an injury. What are we talking about? Let's see what they do in terms of managing his not injury in this one. For the Cavs, well, it's about Evan Mobley, isn't it? How many minutes does he play? What does it mean for guys like Wade and Niang? How does it impact Jarrett Allen? Because Jarrett Allen, let's be honest, bad when Mobley was in, dominating with Mobley out. Where does he fit now? We'll find out. Streams, I'm looking at the cockroach Mason Plumlee. I think that this will be a game where they don't play as much Russell Westbrook. Will have to be more Tyson Plumlee because you're going up against Allen and Mobley, and Westbrook as that small ball guy probably doesn't work that well, and we saw that against the Celtics. It didn't work well at all. Isaac Okoro is probably the Cavs stream, but that is just going to be deeper league stuff. Phoenix and Miami are back-to-back here for the Suns. For Miami, I want to watch Jaime Jaquez. He only played 24 minutes last game. Was that because it was his first game back from a groin injury, or is that how they're going to try and fit those minutes in? I don't know. Will he start over Haywood Highsmith? Will they want to play Butler at the 4? I also don't think so. But that's where we need to view it, don't we? We need to see what happens. In terms of streams, Eric Gordon probably is the guy, although he might not play. It's a back-to-back for them, but we don't know where the Bradley Beal's status is. Gordon's had knee issues and wrist issues and all that sort of stuff. So I don't really know if he's going to play, but he's going to be worth a look. And then Dunk Robinson is the other guy there for Miami who had great minutes last game, but it's really hard to trust that on a game-by-game basis. All right, onto the next one. We're going Utah-Brooklyn. For some reason, I thought Utah was on the second game of a back-to-back, so I didn't put anyone there as who I was watching, but it's the first game of a back-to-back for the Jazz. So what I want to see is Colin Sexton. The minutes are very much up and down, and his production was great last game, but I'm still not 100% certain of where it's going to be night to night. I'm pretty confident, but I'm not certain. For the Nets, well, it is just Ben Simmons. Like, A, does he just move in and start straight away? B, is he going to play 20 minutes or 25 minutes? And C, most importantly, I think here, not even for Simmons, is because Nick Claxton's playing like 36 minutes a night. 37, 38 some nights with Day'Ron Sharpe out. Do they do that thing where it's like, we can't really play Simmons and Claxton together, so Claxton pushes back to 30 minutes, which is going to be interesting because Day'Ron Sharpe's not available. So what does that do for Claxton? In terms of streams, Kelly Olynyk is probably the Jazz guy we look at, maybe Chris Dunn. And then for the Nets with Finney Smith out, although Cam Johnson is returning, I think Royce O'Neal is going to be worth a look for us there. The Pelicans and the Celtics, I want to see Larry Nance Jr. I worry this is going to be a blowout like every single game. Do they start him again in the second half like they've done the last two games? I think Nance is a clear 14-team league guy with 12-team value for category leagues, but probably not for points leagues. And then for the Celtics, Derek White continues to have some struggles. The shooting isn't there like it was earlier in the season. Some of the usage stuff isn't great. Let's see if he's able to reclaim that form. I don't think he will. But let's watch it. In terms of streams, Nance is going to be the guy, and then probably Sam Hauser with with Cornette doubtful, and one of Horford and Porzingis probably going to sit, unless would they sit Porzingis and Horford both on Monday, with Cornette out, and then Cornette comes back on Tuesday? I don't know. Anyway, Hauser's probably going to have an increased role, maybe even the Pascal Donata, Neemias Keita, who I haven't even talked about for ages on this show. Wizards Spurs. Next game, I want to see Bilal Coulibaly, whose minutes are up under Brian Keefe the last two games. Doesn't mean he's putting in big numbers. We need to see the usage really step up for him to become that must-roster player. And I think he needs probably 2 players traded for him to get there. So let's watch his role. And then I put Victor Wembanyama here because I do want to see what Victor Wembanyama is going to do. He's a very clear first-round player next season. He's already a first-round player this season. Like, he's going to go in the first round. He's going to go in the top 5 next season. He will go in the number 1 pick in fantasy drafts next season for some people. Without any question, that will happen. It won't be for everybody, and I'm not sure it will be always the best decision, but he will go number 1, and there is 0 person you want ahead of him in any dynasty format. Not Luka, not Shea, not Chet, Not Halliburton, not Jokic, nobody. You want nobody over Wembanyama. He is untouchable in Dynasty. Untouchable. This is a guy that is going to be, I believe, the number one fantasy player for maybe 5 or 6 years in a row. If not more. It's ridiculous. So let's see him carve this team apart. For the streamer guys, we're looking at Bilal, I think, there for the Wizards and maybe Champagny. Bubbles' minutes continue to be frustrating, but yeah, if you're looking deeper leagues, he's the guy we pay attention to. The Kings and the Grizzlies. I want to see Fanapants Kevin Huerter because he's on a hot streak, and with both him and Barnesy playing well, it is limiting the value of, say, Malik Monk. But when Huerter gets cold, he gets ice cold, and Mike Brown just moves straight away from him. So let's pay attention to that. In terms of streams, it is probably Trey Lyles, who's the under-rostered guy there for the Kings, but that's only a deeper league thing. And then Luke Kennard is the clear one there for the Grizzlies on that back-to-back. Again, I'm putting a lot of weight into the fact that I think he's only sitting Sunday because it's a back-to-back. Minnesota and OKC is on my radar. Karl Anthony Towns. Had the big game, obviously, against the Hornets. Cooled back down as expected. I don't really know what to expect from him. The defensive stats aren't really coming back, but I do feel like he's starting to settle in that back-end second, early third, 25 to 36 sort of a range. That's sort of where I see him. Let's see if he changes my mind. I doubt it. In terms of streams, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who would jump up that list if Mike Conley is out. And then perpetual stream legend Lou Dort is on the list, as he always seems to be. Today's episode is also brought to you by Quiz. So, Quiz, what is it? It's exactly what it sounds like. It is Quiz, and you can go in there and test your NBA and other knowledge as well. Quiz, with 3 eyes, is the next generation trivia experience. It's also the world's first platform where you can earn money playing knowledge games. And for all people listening to the Locked On podcast, well, there are so many different quizzes, but they've also created an NBA quiz where you can test your knowledge and win real cash. I don't know about you guys, but often I'll sit down and go, what am I going to do? And I'll put it on YouTube and I'll go, well, here's like a random pub quiz video or a test your knowledge video. And I'll sit there and say, how many can I get? Well, with Quiz, you can actually go in there and do it. A tailored NBA quiz. And you can get in there and play against your friends and win cash. Like some of the questions they've got here. Which player holds the record for the most points scored in a single game for our Orlando Magic? The answer, it's not Shaq. It's not Penny. It's Tracy McGrady. Yeah. All of these sort of questions are available on Quiz, and you don't have to download anything. Go to app.quiz.com to start playing today. Go to app.quiz.com to test your knowledge and win cash today. That is Quiz with 3 eyes, just like a 3-pointer. Play now, showcase your skills, and take home cash prizes. App.quiz.com, where players become champions. Okay, let's go through the rest of these games. We've got the Lakers and the Rockets. Jared Vanderbilt big minutes last game. Minutes restriction must be over. He's playing well. I think he's an ad. Let's see how they utilize him, or does Pockets put him back into a smaller role? In terms of the Rockets, Jollibee Jalen Green was really strong last game as well. He had his first ever double-double. I am very much not ready to trust it, but his last couple have been improved, so let's see if he's able to keep that streak going. In terms of streams, Vanderbilt is the clear one. He's available in a lot of spots. I'd grab him. And then Dylan Brooksy Brooks for the Rockets, much like he is a Midwest contemporary. Lou Dort is always going to be on this list. Orlando and Dallas, it is a back-to-back for Orlando, and I'm not expecting Fultz or Isaac to be available. For Dallas, Derek Lively, encouragingly, played 30 minutes last game, even with Maxi Kleber available, so that's great. That's what we want him to do. That gives him that clear must-roster status. In terms of streams, Cole Anthony gets a bump because Fultz is likely to be out, and I think Josh Green could be a stream in Dallas. But of course, we don't know whether Kyrie is going to play, or Dante Exum's going to play, or Derek Jones is going to play. So there could be some more value for some other guys there if they're available. The Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver Nuggets. This is going to be Glenn Rivers' first game coaching the Bucks. So how does he use Leaky Beasley? Now, I don't think Leaky is a 12-team league guy at this point, but what if Doc just plays him 40 minutes a night? Or he plays him 20 minutes a night and gets noted veteran defensive legends like Pat Connaughton and Jay Crowder in there instead? A distinct possibility. So we need to see how Leaky gets impacted by Doc. For the Nuggets, let's watch Michael Ponder Jr. Is he in the midst of a downturn in production? Is he going to step it back up? Just consistency is about what we're paying attention to there. In terms of streams, Leaky is the guy there for the Bucks, and it's probably Peyton Watson or it's Reggie Jackson for the Nuggets as a stream guy. The Philadelphia 76ers and the Portland Trailblazers, we just don't know who's going to be there for Philadelphia. Melton will be out, but will Harris, Maxey, and Embiid play? I'm not sure. I think Oubre will play, and if they're all out, he does become someone interesting. But otherwise, I don't want anything to do with him in a 12-team format. The Blazers are on a back-to-back, and they've got like 5 questionable tags for Sunday, so that's a nightmare for sure. Oubre's the stream in Philadelphia, and in Portland, it might be anyone. It might be Jabari Walker. It could be Rayan Rupert if all these guys are out. Like, who knows? But at this point, I'm going to go with Matisse Thybulle as an interesting stream option. We're in a weird chunk portion of the season now. Or of this week anyway, beginning week 15. Monday through Friday, we do chunks. It's a five-day period, and we look for the low-volume days. Well, there's only 2 low-volume days in the next 5 days. It's Tuesday and Thursday. So Monday's got 12, Wednesday's got 10, Friday's got 10. You might be able to stream all of those days. I don't know. But as a general rule, Tuesday and Thursday we're trying to look at. So who can we look to? Nick Batum, the Tuesday, Thursday. Jared Vanderbilt, the Tuesday, Thursday. Aaron Nesmith, Kelly Olynyk, Kelly Oubre, Chris Dunn, all guys who we feel relatively confident are going to play the Tuesday and the Thursday and get the 2 quality games in. And what's also interesting is if you do have a stream spot available for Monday and you want to get a back-to-back going Monday to Tuesday, well, it's a lot of the same names because a lot of the same teams play Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So we've got Nick Batum and the Sixers. We've got Jared Vanderbilt. The Celtics and Sam Hauser have that back-to-back with the uncertainty with all the big men. You got Kelly Oubre. You got Chris Dunn, you got Kelly Olynyk. So a lot of these teams that have the Tuesday, Thursday also have the Monday, Tuesday back-to-back. In terms of 10-team streamers, we're going 57% rostered and below. So Dante DiVincenzo, just got to add him. The Duck, Luke Kennard, we're under the assumption he's back. I've got Al Horford there, but remember, he is questionable. And whether he sits or not, again, it would be fairly silly to me with Cornet doubtful and making more sense to rest Porzingis and then play him Tuesday. I'm pretty sure Horford will play, but I don't know. Josh Hart's there, Jalen Suggs is there, and Big Dick Nick Richards, who has jumped up. He's over 40%. He's up to 46 now. People are eventually taking notice. Your 12-team streams, we're going to go with John Conchar, Jabari Walker if available, Luke Cornet, or had him, I don't think he's not going to be available, so I can take him out. Santi Aldama, Nico Batum, and Jared Vanderbilt. And deep leagues, we go to Mason Plumlee, Royce O'Neal, Reggie Jackson, Quentin Grimes, Precious Achua, and Bilal Coulibaly. Lastly, we go to points leagues. I'm going to look at Jabari Walker, Luke Kennard, Santi Aldama, John Conchar, Cole Anthony, and the cockroach Mason Plumlee. And guys, that will do it for me today. Don't forget, if you haven't given me a thumbs up, well, I'm taking all thumbs. As many thumbs as I can fit, get them in there. Hit the like button. Well, that is the thumb, isn't it? Subscribe and leave your comment down below. And if you're on audio, come and double bang and watch the video here as well. And don't forget the live trade deadline show. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.